Alrighty, thank you, McGregor. And now we welcome Nadine. Please come up. And Leon, are you joining? Or yep, a couple of seats up there. And we've got through to 1:45, so I've allowed a little bit more time. Obviously, we've got a presentation, and I know you've worked on this for some time, and I'm pretty sure there'll be a few questions. So we've sort of got through to 1:45, so sort of 20 minutes all up. So if you sort of maybe do 10 minutes on your presentation, then we can have a discussion, questions.
Thank you, and hopefully the technology will work for us today. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Mayor, councillors. Thank you for the opportunity to present today. I'm just going to take a moment to ask you to look at the image that I've got behind you, just to draw your attention. I'm sure, I don't know how many are familiar with the area, but there's Cliffs Road that leads into Rolling Ridges Road. Fraser Road is part of that intersection there as well. And if you go along Rolling Ridges Road, there's another road there called Sutherland's Road. So all of those roads are included in here. So I just wanted to give you a bit of an overview geographically of the roads that I'm going to be speaking about. I live on Rolling Ridges Road and represent 10 other residents on Rolling Ridges and Cliffs Road who are concerned about the ongoing safety of our road. These are the various residents that I represent. I wanted to put them up today. They're also in the submission, but I can just go past that now. I've provided information in my submission and would like to use this time to give you some visual examples and answer some questions. I hope that at the end of this you consider sealing the road under special circumstances. Rolling Ridges Road itself is approximately 11 kilometres long. Driving from Pleasant Point Highway towards Claremont, approximately 2.2 kilometres of it is unsealed. There is a high volume of traffic along these roads, particularly Class 5 vehicles. There are significant safety concerns from us all. In the last 10 months, there have been 8 accidents or incidents on the road, including 2 serious near-miss accidents. I've put a picture there that is a day following a gravel being laid, and it's an example of the road after the gravel's been laid. You can clearly see that a car may have or could have gone right off the side there. All of the incidents have been reported to council and some of them to police. Many of the incidents are caused by poor visibility due to the dust or the road condition due to the gravel surface and inconsistent maintenance of the roads. This is a video example. It's taken along Rolling Ridges Road. I myself have taken this footage. I guess some of the key things that I want to draw your attention to is that this is driving towards the bus stop, the school bus stop. There is a horse and a rider that's actually located at the bus stop that you cannot see until you're almost upon it. So I think someone's going to kindly press play for me. Hopefully you don't hear my children in the background. So I'm just coming up towards Fraser Road now, and in the left-hand side. Right, you can't quite see the image, but that was a horse and a rider. I don't know if you were able to catch that or if I need to replay it. So normally there are 4 families that use that bus stop, so you can see there on that drive that the visibility is incredibly poor. In addition to the visibility being poor, the 4 families who use the bus stop are unable to leave their children at the bus stop for fear that there will be an issue. The kids are unable to walk to and from the bus stop because of the dust and the speed on the road. And there is no signage at the bus stop, and there is no signage leading to the bus stop asking people to slow down. We have previously asked the council to provide signage, and it still hasn't been erected. That would be more than 18 months ago. This is an extract that I've received from council regarding the traffic volumes on the road. So the last meter reading was taken in November 21. The Class 1 vehicles were in excess of 120, which is considered high. The Class 5 vehicles were not accurately recorded as it was not taken during the ag season. We made a request for the meter to be reinstalled to accurately record the ag season, but it was declined. There would be a minimum of 10 trucks that go up and down that road daily. And if I just draw your attention to the quote below, engineers estimate that a fully loaded truck causes more damage to a road than 5,000 cars. Some road planners say that the toll is even higher and would take close to 10,000 cars to equal the damage of one heavy truck. So there would be an absolute minimum of 10 trucks going across that road, and even more during the ag season. This, again, is another example of the dust that can be generated in the spread of the dust. If you don't mind pressing the... Thank you. So this is taken on Cliffs Road. So that's following a truck on Cliffs Road, an example of the spread of the dust. So I don't know how far back, but you can, the video speaks for itself. There are significant issues with the dust. There is poor air quality. Residents are unable to open our doors and windows in our homes. We've got dust particles everywhere. There are children who are unable to play outside during summer. There are respiratory issues caused by the dust. The poor visibility that the dust creates is a significant safety issue. We have been advised by the council to look into getting a dust suppressant if we, or oil the road. So we investigated oiling the road, but if you oil the road, you're unable to grade the road. There are no local contractors able to oil the road. They've got to come from Christchurch, and it was suggested that this is at a cost to residents. And when we've investigated the cost, just the product itself is in excess of $4,000. That's not including the spread or bringing it to Timaru. One of the other significant concerns, certainly for myself and other residents, is that we don't have access to downlands. We only have roof water. So our roofs are getting covered in dust, and in turn this is contaminating our water, and we can't do anything about it. So that's a significant safety issue that we have. This is a lime-based mix surface on the road. It's got a significant spread of dust. This is taken on Rolling Ridges Road, again to show an example of the dust generated and the spread, and it's blowing directly onto my house. If you don't mind. Thank you. So you can see as we get closer, the spread of the dust would be close to 20 metres. My house is a ways from the road, but there it is there, and the dust just continues to go through, especially if there's multiple trucks going along the road. The road extension policy that the council has, in July 22, we asked to meet with the council to discuss the unsealed road. The council responded via email with a copy of the road seal policy. They advised that they only fund 50% if 50% is met by ratepayers. Or other interested parties. The cost to seal the road, the 2.2 kilometres, is estimated to be around $800,000. The residents would have to contribute $400,000 to have the road sealed. We don't have the funds to support this, but we desperately want to get our road sealed for the reasons outlined. In addition to that, I feel that the road extension policy is flawed. It allows trusts or businesses to contribute the 50%. But it does nothing for the residents who are being affected daily. There is no clear transparency or matrix to show what roads have priority. For example, Spur Road was recently sealed. I use the road regularly. I'm grateful that it has been sealed. However, there may be one resident who would have been affected on that stretch of road, whereas we have upwards of 10 residents who are affected daily. And that's where I would like the council to have some sort of transparency of a matrix showing prioritisation. There's been a cost analysis done in September 22 with regards to the road. This is a response letter when I asked for the copy of the cost analysis. I don't expect you to read it, obviously, but I would like to draw your attention, and I can provide this information later if you like. There was no feedback, or nobody had spoken to the residents of the road when preparing the cost analysis, and therefore no additional weighting was given due to road safety or any other issues that we had. When this was sent to me in November, there had been 6 separate incidents at that stage, but none of the incidents were acknowledged in this cost analysis. In fact, the final paragraph refers to the fact that residents hadn't been in contact with the council to let them know any issues, but we had reported at least 6 incidents by that stage. In April 23, last month, I contacted the council to get a list of all the accidents and incidents that had been reported on the road. It took 3 weeks to get a list, and even then it was not an accurate reflection of what we had reported. There is no reference on the cost analysis at all of the road seal extension policy prioritisation guidelines. In the final paragraph, it's even been suggested that the residents themselves do not drive to the conditions of the road, or that the road is not supposed to be driven at 100 kilometres per hour. The residents are aware of the conditions. We drive them daily. We don't drive at 100 kilometres per hour. A significant number of non-residents and Class 5 vehicles use this road, and this is what is causing the ongoing safety issues. In preparation for this submission, I've looked at other councils and what they might do. So this is an excerpt from the Far North District Council. Far North District Council has got a very significant matrix, which I'll show you on the next slide. But they've prioritised sealing roads and offering dust suppressant to residents. They have a comprehensive matrix for road sealing. This is an example of their matrix. I'd like to see some form of transparency by Timaru District Council for road sealing. We've had a lot of ongoing questions and concerns for years regarding this road. However, we seem to encounter a culture of not providing residents with support. We've done a resident survey and we've supplied it to the council, and it wasn't acknowledged. We were declined an additional metre to get an accurate reading of Class 5 vehicles. All the information that I've gathered has only been given to me after I've requested it under the Official Information Act. In summary, given the evidence of accidents and incidents, is there any additional funding available from Waka Kotahi? Is there a special circumstance in which we can get our road considered for sealing? Although the road seal policy refers to prioritisation, there is no transparency of this. Is there a matrix of roads that will be upgraded at some stage? And if not, can there be for future planning? The road generates as much dust as a quarry, which I think I've shown, but quarries have strict mitigation rules. Why do council not mitigate the dust or address the issues we face that are detrimental to our well-being? Alternatively, if funding isn't available, will the council consider mitigating the dust for residents? Finally, if there is no funds at this stage, can we consider it being done in stages? Can sections of the road be done at various times so that at some stage over the next 5 years it will be sealed? And the final part of my submission is, what do we do next? What is the solution? And where can we get money? Thank you very much. In fact, thank you for taking the time, but I particularly want to say thank you to Brendan, who was involved in collecting the submissions. You were a pleasure to deal with. I think that might be him. You're a pleasure to deal with, so thank you very much. Any questions?
Yeah, I'm sure there will be questions, Steve. And so, just as far as the residents, is the farmer, the main farmer or farmers, are they on that list?
Yes, they are. Barry Scott is the main farmer, and he is on the list. He's not a resident as such because he doesn't live on the road, but his farm borders the road. So yes, he is on the list also. Yeah. He was also part of the survey that we did for the residents.
Yeah, so because I did, and no, this isn't meant to be disrespectful, his son who is farming it was really conscious of a sealed road bringing extra traffic, and it being an area where it is still farming. And I think it's a great submission. I take all the issues, and I think they're all relevant. But this is a great a case of where the RMA fails, and you get rural residential subdivision, and the issues that come with it. And these are the things that you have to deal with after the fact. And I think they're all relevant, not taken away from that. But it just does create some issues.
I think also, the volumes, when I've looked at previous meters, the volumes have doubled in 5 years. So when the subdivisions originally went in, the traffic volumes weren't there, but they certainly are now.
Yeah, and I think people are using it to come into town, aren't they? So,
Agreed.
Yeah.
It's somewhat of a shortcut between Cave and town. People come up Sutherland's Road and come into town through that way, or perhaps even Pleasant Point across to Pariora might be what they do as well.
Yeah, cool. I'll get some further information, but we'll go to Councillor Piddington, and then at the end we'll just try and give you some next
Class 5 heavy trucks and trailers, who are they? Are they local farmers or are they?
No, not at all. If anything, it's people moving baleage, or it is farmers, but it's
They
moving.
might not own the gear, but it's, whether it be seed or bales. And it's,
Not so much.
all of the above. Yeah, I think whoever picks up the work at the time for the right price gets the work. So it's not a shortage of work, I think it's cost, whoever's the most cost effective at the time.
Sorry, so I do have, and we'll run out of time, so we'll have to pick this up this afternoon again as well. So currently, sort of a rough prioritisation, and your point around residential versus commercial on a road is a really interesting one. So Rangitata Gorge and road traffic has about 309 vehicles per day. Rolling Ridges has 124, taking your point around ag season, etc. And so cost-wise, I did have it somewhere. So if we did, on there. So Rangitata Gorge, as an example, is 350k. Rolling Ridges itself is 450. If you did the roads in and around, it's about a value of 2 million. So those surrounding roads that Nadine pointed to. So there's some significant costs. So I just wanted to, just in public, bring those costs out. Did you want to speak to this, Andrew? We've got a few minutes before Nathan's due, but otherwise we can pick up this afternoon as well in more detail.
Thank you, Worship. So we have 750 kilometres of unsealed road in our district. So and seal extensions, everybody loves to have their road sealed. It's just a case of affordability. That's really what it comes down to. Unfortunately, Waka Tahi really basically will not fund seal extensions unless the vehicles on those is up around about over 500 vehicles a day on them. The dust issue is not recognised as part of the Waka Tahi funding system. We are reliant. So any seal extension with these vehicles, with these roads, and includes all our unsealed roads in the district, would have to be 100% funded by ratepayers.
And the likes of Spur Road, that extension, that was funded by ratepayers on the road, was it?
Yeah.
To Nadine's point, was that business or was it funded for business activity?
Yeah, Spur Road was basically, there was a subdivision at one end of it, and so they made a financial contribution towards the sealing of that one, by 50%, and then there was also a quarry which Portsmouth Earth Moving had, and they funded 50% of that end. We funded or managed to get funding through Wakatahi for just the small part in the middle, because of basically it was the lowest cost maintenance option, because you'd experience cars braking and accelerating, you'd get high maintenance cost of that unsealed road section. So we managed to get that. So we did well with the funding on that one.
No, that's cool. Councillor Piddington.
Just a question probably to you, Andrew. I was concerned around the signage at the bus stop. Residents create them. How do they come about and how do they get a sign to ensure vehicles slow down when they're going past those pickup points for school children.
Well, basically, you don't need a sign for cars to slow down. The transport rules are that if you're passing a bus, it's 20 kilometres an hour, a school bus. So you're expected to slow down regardless of where the signs. We do put signs up for a bus route. The issue there is that bus routes are changing all the time, depending on where families are in rural areas. So, we can put the sign up and then maybe a family moves from a particular area or a particular house and then it's no longer a bus route. So, we can certainly have a look at that one again.
Yeah, that's cool. I think we can, I can see your expression, Nadine. We can have a look at the bus stop.
Am I able to also respond
Yeah, of course.
briefly? I guess, whilst I hear what you're saying, there's 750 kilometres of road. There is no matrix. There is no transparency as to the prioritisation. I recently attended something where, I think you were there, Mr Mayor, I'm not quite sure how to address you,
That's nice, right?
but I was there and you had spoken to the government about the fact that we've got 1% of the population and 73% of the exports. 7.3%, sorry, of the exports, and we're therefore asking the government to contribute more to our roads. We're at the forefront of that. We're at the coalface of that. So what I'm saying is that if we are going to get additional funding at some stage, then we need to have a matrix in place for prioritisation of these roads. And the way our roads matter across the district, our road matters. In the 3 years that I've lived at this residence, the bus stop hasn't changed, it hasn't moved, and there are 4 families there. We've asked previously for it to be erected and it hasn't happened. Non-residents going along that road don't know that there is a bus stop. There is nothing to identify it. It's dangerous. It's unacceptable. Thank you.
That's right. Look, we're sort of on time. We will pick this up again this afternoon, and you've got some really good valid points. We've got a heap of notes that we need to work through, so I appreciate that, and that's something we might look to action with some urgency on the bus stop. Can we have a urgent look at that? Thank you. Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thanks,
everybody.
Leon.
Thanks.
Appreciate that.